Hello and welcome to the second session of Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. We are anticipating to be chartered as a new club this week. I am Sally Reyes, your interim sergeant at arms. Please take out your phones and set them to stun. No, I mean silent. Please help me welcome our interim president of Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. She is our co-sponsor and assistant Division D director. She is also general intuitive, guardian angel, and DTM. This is Cynthia Stott. Welcome.
Thank you, Sally. You're amazing at introductions. I love it. And welcome, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited to have you all here. And this is our inaugural session of our Africa, Europe, and Middle East edition. And our executive director is Patricia Mensah-Larke. Welcome, Patricia. Say hi.
And everyone, great to be part of this amazing journey, Cynthia.
Yes, so exciting, and so excited to have you on board. Great. And I'd like to welcome our guests. If Linda, can you tell me the name of the first guest? Because I can't see in my phone.
Sherry Washburn.
Sherry Washburn, welcome. So tell us who you are and how you found out about us.
My name is, as you know already, Sherry Washburn. I'm the president of the Dayton Road Toastmasters here in Ames, Iowa, and mentor for a new club, CVM, College of Veterinary Medicine Toastmasters.
Wow.
Just got my DTM, but I'm not excited or anything.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's taken years. It's a legacy DTM, but I am so happy with it. Anyhow, how I heard about you was, I believe, because I've been visiting a lot of clubs around the planet, globetrotting Toastmaster style. I believe it was online on the official Toastmasters member Facebook group.
Great. Awesome. Welcome. And our next guest?
Hang on. Our next guest is, I believe, Godwin Egabuno.
Can you please
good evening,
tell us who you are and how you got here?
Okay, my name is Godwin Egabuno. I'm from Nigeria.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Yeah, I've attended some of the Toastmasters meeting in Nigeria via Zoom, and I got the link to join this, so I'm here now.
It's too dark.
Yeah, just help out.
Okay, great. And who invited you?
Grand City Toastmasters Club.
Oh, great. Awesome. Welcome. And our next guest?
Thank you very much.
Umnaya Nikita. And I do apologize for my pronunciation if I am totally wrong.
And how did you find out about us, and where are you from? Are you unmuted?
Yes.
Are you unmuted? She's unmuted? Maybe she's... Hello?
She was muted.
Is she unmuted? Okay, let's move on to the next guest.
Sodiq. S-O-D-E-E-Q.
Okay, and where are you from, and how did you hear about us?
Yeah, okay, my name is Toastmaster Sadiq. I'm from Urban Professional Toastmaster in Nigeria, Abuja to be precisely. Distinguished Toastmaster Patricia invited me, and I'm happy to be with you.
Great.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
And our
you.
next guest?
Dorothy Chanakira.
Hi, Dorothy.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Dr. Chanakira is my name, DTM, and I'm excited, Sherry, to be a DTM. Not a mean fit. DTM Nikki is my principal, and he shared excitement about this upcoming club, and so she dragged me along.
We're happy to have you.
Thank
And our next guest?
Gabenga Asa Olu.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right. Good day, everyone. Okay, my name is Toastmaster Gbenga Ashaolu. I rejoined Toastmasters 2 days ago. Yes, 2 days ago. I was once a Toastmaster in 2012 to 2014. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I've been touring different Toastmasters club across the world. So 2 days ago, I decided to join Toastmasters again, and I joined Aso Rock's Toastmasters in Abuja, Nigeria.
Great.
So I was invited to this meeting by DTM Patricia Mensah that I met about 2 hours ago at Grand City Toastmaster Club meeting. So we fell into the same breakout session. So she's such an awesome person. So I would love to participate in this wonderful program. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Beautiful. Welcome.
Thank you.
Next, do we have any more guests?
Oh yeah, Edward Mobarish.
Oh, well, he's our Speechcraft coordinator. So
He
should-
is, but he's not a member of Leaders Worldwide.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Edward Mborichi. I'm from Ghana, Accra.
Anna.
I'm a member
Ghana.
of Perison's Rising Toastmasters Club, funded by DTM Patricia, and I am the Speechcraft coordinator for this program.
Great.
I hope you have an
Awesome.
awesome session today. And nice to meet you, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And next,
Okay, Mary Ann Queen.
Hello. Hello. Hi, I am with the James K. Polk Toastmasters Club in Nashville, Tennessee, USA.
wow. I think that's another state for us.
I think so. And we have Rosalind Kahn.
Oh, she's a member.
Is she?
Yeah.
She is? I don't remember doing paperwork on her.
Nope. You had 51 people to
I know,
work on.
and
she's
Teresa
definitely
Cherry.
and
Teresa
she's a member.
Cherry?
She's a member.
I don't believe so.
Yes, she is. Trust me.
Are you trying to get rid of me already?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Any
All
other
right.
guests?
No, not that I can
That
see.
was a lot of guests. How many guests was that? That was like 7. Yay, we qualify for our open house reimbursement. Great. So at this point, I'm going to introduce our amazing Toastmaster, Seema Gary. She's a project manager. She's well on her way to a DTM, and she's a powerhouse. Please welcome Seema Gary.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We have an amazing meeting planned ahead for you. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Our theme, as Cynthia had said, is inauguration for this meeting. And at this point, I would like to introduce to you the master leader, which is Linda Patton.
Thank you, Seema. Today, in honor of the inauguration, I actually have a piece out of an inauguration speech. This is by John Quincy Adams. And he says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And back to you, Madam
Awesome.
Toastmaster.
Thank you, Linda. That was amazing. Very apt quote. So I just wanted to let you know how to read this agenda. If you see on the left side, we have the timings and the clock. So at that time, we are going to be on time. The timing, it tells you the duration, and then the role will tell you who is speaking or going to be speaking at that time.
Sorry.
The description is in the middle. That just is going to tell you what the people are going to talk about, and then who's going to talk about it on the right side. So that's a quick way to read our agenda. And at this time, I would like to invite our general evaluator to explain the roles and introduce his team. And today's meeting, the general evaluator is going to be Emmanuel Ojuewumi. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sima. I'm quite excited to be at this inaugural meeting. And I have a fantastic team. I call them the tag team. That's the timer, the grammarian, and the R counter. Today we have 3 amazing people. And one of them is the grammarian who also doubles as the R counter. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster Sally as she explains her role as the grammarian and R counter.
Well, we'd like to clean up our speeches some if we could realize how many times we stop and say ah. So that's my job, is to count all those strange words that do not fit with your speech. And I also have a word of the day, and the more you use the word of the day, we get credit for that. So back to you.
What's your word of the day?
Sally, the word of the day.
Thank you. That was particularly exciting. Great. Okay.
Sally, wait a
On to the
second.
next.
Wait a second. Sally didn't introduce the word of the day.
Yeah,
Okay.
the word of the day.
You want it now? The word of the
Yes.
day. This is the best one. It's called teamwork, and we're working that one out. The definition is the combined action of a group of people, especially when effective and efficient. Teamwork.
All right. Thank you very much, Sally. That was exciting. Thank you. So I will encourage everyone to use the word of the day, which is commitment. Commitment.
No.
Now,
It's
The last one.
Emmanuel. It's the word of the day is teamwork.
oh, teamwork.
That was
Okay.
in some reason that was last week's commitment.
Oh, okay then. All right. Okay. All right then. Okay. So the word of the day is teamwork. Teamwork. Okay. Now I'm going to introduce to you the timer, who is going to be telling us why time is important in today's meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Kathleen. Over to you.
In the spirit of teamwork, to expedite the proceedings of the meeting, I'll just, I think the importance of precise timing is obvious. And we have icebreakers, and those are 4 to 6 minutes. The green card will show up at 4 minutes, and the red at 6, and the yellow in between. And then there will be 1 minute of silence. Table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. And that will be 1 minute green, 1.5 minutes yellow, and 2 minutes red. Then the evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes. And so that will be green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and red will be 3 minutes. Thank you, and I'm so glad to see you, Emmanuel.
You're on mute, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. It's so exciting to hear from you also. Time and tide waits for no man. My role as the general evaluator today is to observe the overall proceedings of today's meeting. I'll be watching out for the performance of everyone and check the general conduct of the meeting and give a report at the end of the meeting with my team members. I would also like to remind you that you should be silent after every speech to give due respect to the meeting. Having said that, I would like to hand over to our pilot for today, the Toastmaster. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I like that title, the pilot. So there you have it. You've seen already through the meeting how it is going through with teamwork. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker. Before I do that, I just want to point out that at the bottom of the menu on Zoom where you have chat, at the very end, you have a reactions button, which you can show a reaction based to all the speakers today, because we can't really clap out loud.
And make sure the plenary speaker has the timer in view.
So if you're not speaking, please put yourself on mute. Please put yourself on mute if you're not speaking. Maybe the tech host can.
Yeah, but that's in 2017. And right now it's over there tomorrow.
Yeah, Linda, can you mute her?
Tech host, please mute.
Okay. And make sure the plenary speaker can see the timer before she speaks.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to introduce you to our keynote speaker, Nikki Quinn. She will be speaking on getting your gravitas on, how to build executive presence. She joined Toastmasters in March 2009 and is a distinguished Toastmaster, the immediate past district director, District 74, which has the 9 countries in Southern Africa. Nikki is currently working on her 3rd DTM award. She's working on her 3rd DTM award and the 1st on the pathways, and is traversing the persuasive influence and dynamic leadership paths. So very warm welcome to Nikki, getting your gravitas on, how to build executive presence. Nikki Quinn, getting your gravitas on, how to build your executive presence.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Can I double check that you can hear me and that you can see my screen?
Yes, we can. And can you see your timer?
I'm actually timing myself.
Okay.
So I can't, but I'll time myself. Thank you so much. I started my working career with a young lady called Sharon. It was my very first job. It was a long time ago. We worked together for almost my entire career in corporate. Sharon and I are a similar age, have similar educational backgrounds. We work in the same industry, and we had worked at the same company together for a very long time. Aside from that, Sharon and I are very different. She's a mom of 3. I have no children. I love traveling, even via Zoom. She hates it. I love good red wine. She doesn't. I've been promoted a number of times ahead of Sharon at work, and my earning capacity is significantly higher than hers. She's actually fantastic technically. In fact, I would bet that her technical skills are actually better than mine. In fact, she often gets pulled onto projects to fix them. She's called the fixer. Her project management skills are exceptional, and her ability to get things done is actually pretty phenomenal. I have huge respect for my friend Sharon, and we have talked about these things often. She wonders why she doesn't have a seat at the executive table, and she fears that she may never get that opportunity. One of the things we've talked about is it. She just hasn't got it. Did you ever hit a plateau at work? Have you ever wondered why you didn't get that promotion? Despite being competent and apparently having the knowledge and skills. Ever notice that some of your peers have it and others don't? Don't feel alone. There are many people who are really terrific at what they do, but they don't get the career development and job satisfaction that they deserve because they don't have it. Gravitas, executive presence. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. What is gravitas? What does it actually mean? Well, it's Latin. Weightiness, seriousness, importance. And it's associated with influence, dignity, authority, and importance. People who display gravitas are generally well-grounded, possess sound judgment, and they're able to deal with significant issues under fire. It's a really important leadership skill that often is not mentioned, but it's critical for building success. Very few are born with it, but it can be built. It takes a bit of a concerted effort to learn gravitas, but here in Toastmasters, you can already start learning some of the skills to develop your gravitas. I'm going to go through a few things with you today. One of the things is that you need to be assured of the value of your contribution. You need to remain calm, even under fire. You need to have that self-assurance that your value at the table is constant and worthwhile. You do not have to try and prove yourself. You do not have to always be heard. You do not have to prove that you're the smartest person in the room. You don't have to dominate the conversation or any of those things. Your value remains constant and you're assured of that. It's also important to use great judgment about the things that you say. I attended a Scott Work negotiating skills many years ago. I think it was more than 20 years ago. And when I was researching this project about 6 months ago, I was really very happy to see that Scott Work negotiating skills is still available. It was possibly the best course I have ever attended. And I remember one of the facilitators saying to us, silence is incredibly powerful. My own mum, 90 years of wisdom behind her in May of next year, she still says, some things are best left unsaid. Wise words from one of the favorite ladies in my life. When asserting your ideas, be short, simple, clear, and make sure you stay in context. Don't restate other people's ideas. And when you're silent, listen. And stay off your device. If possible, keep your camera on. When we had round tables or town halls at work, guess who it was who always wanted to ask a question? It was Sharon. No matter how ridiculous or how inane it seemed, she asked away because she wanted people to think she was smart. She did the opposite. And I believe that is one of the reasons that she didn't get the opportunities that deep down she deserved if she could have just got some of these things right. Be very clear and concise about what you're saying. Don't cut people off. It's another thing my mom taught me. And make the questions that you ask about what and how rather than why. It's your children who ask why 7 times. And focus them on the present and towards the future, as opposed to around what's happened in the past. Avoid unhelpful verbal habits. Filler words like that we really practice right here at Toastmasters. The reason we practice trying not to use those words is they make you sound nervous and they make people often distrust you. But there are also other bad verbal habits. Cliches. Often in meetings, you hear people saying things like, at the end of the day, or to be totally honest with you, goodness, I hope you're going to be totally honest with me. Or, in my opinion, I hope it's your opinion and not somebody else's when you voice your opinions. These things may seem very basic, but you have no idea how much these filler words and phrases detract from a message that you're wanting to communicate. Watch that body language. Try to remember that 80% of communication is non-verbal, and it's often underplayed or disregarded. How you show up physically, arms crossed or not, smiling or frowning, sitting back, slouching, or sitting forward. Noticing your own body language is critical to establish strong presence. Also, especially ladies, don't fiddle with your hair or chew your pen, or worse still, gum or smoke or eat, especially in this environment. Walk tall, sit up straight, and look your colleagues in the eye. I worked with a girl at the same company where I worked with Sharon for a long time. And this girl called Dominique, she couldn't look at anybody. When she was having a conversation with you, she was always looking 6 inches above your head. She never looked straight into your eyes, and I never really trusted Dominique. Be confident and kind, but remember that arrogance and gravitas just cannot and won't ever exist and won't ever coexist. People who deserve that seat at the top table, they don't have to prove it at every single meeting or all the time. If you deserve a seat, you have nothing to prove, nothing to win. You're there. And the other thing that's so important is don't throw your colleagues under the bus. Treat those that don't respect you with respect. And when you behave badly, understand that people see it as if you're overbearing, and often they may envisage that as insecure. Finally, what's really important is to observe yourself all the time. For all of what I've said for it to work, you need to monitor yourself and others. You need to ask yourself questions like, what is my role here? What is not being said? Is my participation helpful? Is it helping to move the conversation forward? Is it neutral? Or are the things that I'm doing and saying hindering the direction of the conversation? Ask yourself what is needed here and make adjustments. I'd been telling Sharon for ages that she needed not to ask questions in every single one of the round tables or town halls we went to together. And eventually she did stop asking, or when she did ask, she thought very, very carefully about it. Alas, her career at the organization was already a quarter of a century old, and she'd made such a bad impression. But she has started to improve, and she's still there and I'm not. And she has been given a junior executive position, which I do think she deserves. So watch yourself and adjust. Sharon and I have a call every 3 months, and we've continued during this pandemic. And she's really done a lot better at this, especially being on Zoom. Gravitas is not a mask. When it is lacking, people know it. When it is present, people notice. You will hear them saying things. He can hold a room. When she speaks, people take notice. His ideas are always welcomed by the board, even if there is a debate or disagreement. People take cognizance. I would encourage you, every one of you, to really get your gravitas on. It can help you develop your career, build your presence, and help you have the impact and consideration that you deserve. Please do contact me if you'd like to chat further. I'm more than happy to chat, and I look forward to the success of this inauguration meeting of a team that clearly is working very successful and making that teamwork work for them. Madam Toastmaster Seema, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikki. That was amazing and right on point. And I would like to ask Linda Patton to conduct the Q&A session of this chat.
So ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to put your questions or comments in the chat, that would be awesome. And we can ask Nikki some pithy, deep questions. Patricia Mensalarkey says, thank you, DTM Nikki. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Gabenga says, thank you for that inspiring session. Emmanuel says, is there a quick fix to owning the room, Miss Nikki?
So a quick fix, no, but if you follow some of the tips that I have given you today, and I'm happy to share the presentation with you, Emmanuel, then you will be able to actually develop your leadership skills and your presence in the room.
Okay. Tafiq said, you spoke about positions. Possible to elaborate?
I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Tafiq, can you clarify? And while you're doing that, Patricia Mensalarkey says, I enjoyed your presentation. Getting your gravitas on is something sensed by others as being too known or being the know-it-all. What do you say to that?
Right. So, Patricia, you're right. And this is when leaders are too arrogant. It's a gentle, it's not a shout out, here I am, I'm the big deal, I'm the big leader. It really is a controlled and well-managed how you portray yourself. Again, happy to interact with you offline as well.
Rosalind says, truly phenomenal. How long did you work together? How long until you saw the changes?
We actually worked together all in all for 35 years. And only the last 5 years, when she became anxious for wanting promotion, did we then start working on some changes.
Awesome. Kathleen says, gravitas is not a mask, it's a presence. Wow. Remarkable, Nikki. How you can be challenging and comforting at the same time. Sandra Edwards says, love the real meaning of gravitas. Don't think I really knew that before. And from Gabenga, he says, the second part of your topic was meant to be executive presence. Is it possible for someone who initially didn't exude executive presence to start showing it in the same organization? Do you think it will eventually have lost its initiality?
Yeah, so executive presence and gravitas are the same thing. And if you work at it, I do believe that you can turn the situation around in an organization. It's the same with branding, your own personal brand. Think of somebody like Lance Armstrong, the cyclist. He was never able to recover from his cheating. But think of somebody, I believe the man's name is Robert Downing Jr., the actor. And Robert Downing Jr., at one stage, nobody would have him in Hollywood because he was so bad in terms of his abuse and his drinking and his drug problems and so on. But he turned around and he made a new movie. And I'm not a movie buff, but it's I can't remember. I'm sure many of you will remember. But Robert Downey Jr. is now able to command blockbuster movies and top box salaries again.
Okay.
So you can turn it around.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Nikki,
Thank
for
you.
your answers. That was great. I'm going to turn this back to Seema. By the way, is there someone who can take a screenshot of all of us? I'm not able to do that.
I can do that.
Thank you.
And yeah, and Emmanuel can take it too. And we need all the pages of people, so we're going to have to take several pictures.
So
Yes,
if you
I've got somebody's hand.
come on video and smile.
Right. Do we have the first page? Nikki?
Yes, just a moment more.
You ready for the second page, Emmanuel?
Yes, yes.
There you go. There's page 2.
All right, perfect.
Okay, we have it. Great. Thank you so very much. And now, Seema, you may have the room back.
Thank you. Well, with that exciting keynote speech, thank you again, Nikki, and the Q&A, we are going to move right into a 5-minute break. So
And
that
thank you, Seema. And while we're on this break, I currently have only the organizers in the breakout room for level 1. I would love to know who else would like to move into level 1 and get some education on speechcraft. So guests, if you'd like to move, just put an L-1 in front of your name. If you don't know how to do that, then put it in the chat that you'd like to move into level 1 so that we have some amazing people there to listen to Carrie Kelly give her demo speech. So thank you. We'll see you back at 12:44.
And Kimberly Shearer is L1. Oh, she just put it in. Great. And if Barbara Mariano is here, she's in level 1.
Okay, how do I put L1 in?
And who are you? I can do it.
Barbara Mariano.
Hi, Barbara. You're all set.
Oh, thank you.
And Taufik is level 1. Okay. And And Patricia's going to go with us to level 1 so she can
I know that.
record.
I have her.
Okay.
It was, that's why I said the organizers. Anyone else who'd like to move? Isaac and Joe? Perfect, thank you.
And Sandra Edwards, I think we were going to put you in level 1 so you could get a refresher course on it and you could speak your regular speeches rather than moving on. Did you want to join us in level 1?
Sandra's an evaluator today, right,
Oh,
Sandra?
that's right. Okay, never mind. Barbara Mariano.
I have her. I have Barbara, Kimberly Scherer, Edward, Joe, Carrie, Isaac, Tafiq, Sandra, and Patricia. Anyone else who would like to join? Okay, then when you come back, you'll be in an entirely different room. Yes, Cynthia.
Never mind. Sorry.
Okay. If any of the guests would like to experience a speechcraft, we can move you as well. Otherwise, you can also experience the phenomenal speakers that are going to stay in the main room.
Yes, I would like to participate. I'm Sadiq, Toastmaster Sadiq.
I'm sorry, give me your name again.
Toastmaster Sadiq.
Sadiq, thank you. There you are. You are all set. So at this point, I am opening the rooms and saying goodbye.
Enjoy. You're going to love the breakout room.
Woohoo!
Make sure that you click join.
You'll have a little small window pop up and say invite you to the breakout room. Please click on that and you will be moved into that right away.
And Linda, can you send me to the room too?
And then for the rest of us, please keep yourself on mute when you're not speaking or supposed to be listening to the listeners. Please keep yourself on mute, even in the breakout room. Are we all set, Linda?
No, Kimberly hasn't joined yet.
Okay.
She may not be back from break.
Okay.
I would go ahead.
Okay, so we are going to move on with the meeting. I would like to call Teresa Cherry. She's going to be evaluator 1 and ask her to share about our first speaker.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As you said, I'm Teresa Cherry, and today our speaker is Lynn Fraley. Lynn is going to share her icebreaker with us, the purpose of which is to introduce herself to the group and share some interesting facts about herself. So her title is Self-Care, Global Perspectives. Lynn is a nurse with a doctoral degree in public health and has a very unique perspective on self-care for women. Lynn, the platform is yours.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Isn't choice a wonderful thing? I want to address 3 areas of choice, one regarding our club today, one regarding self-care, and the third has to do with screening. I want to acknowledge everyone here for choosing to be in a club with a global perspective. How lucky are we to be able to interact with people around the world and learn about their interests and share our interests with them. I'm very excited about that. And it's just, and I know we have many choices, many clubs. I don't log on to Toastmasters without saying, you want to start a new club? So I'm happy to be here and making that particular choice. And I acknowledge you for doing the same, whether you're a guest or a new member. The second area of choice has to do with self-care. What I love about a global community is that everyone here has particular healers within their own world, their own community, their own culture that offers so much more in the terms of health than just a plain, simple, perhaps sometimes limited Western medical approach. I think about the fish, the big fishing nets that collect all these kinds of fish, and sometimes the wrong fish are in the net, and sometimes they get out and sometimes they don't. When it comes to self-care, we have many choices, and it's really important to come from our own self way of knowing ourselves, because this is teamwork. This is teamwork at its finest. Make sure that when you get involved in self-care, you are respected as a full participating member of your team. You're not dictated to, you are acting out of choice and you are working with people who support you. The third area I want to address has to do specifically with screening. I've been involved in women's healthcare much of my life, but the screening goes to men and women. Particularly, there's a tremendous amount of attention on breast screening. And mammogram takes the big piece of that. Thermogram is another alternative method of screening without the radiation, without contact, without compression. And the very best part about is that a thermogram can show you information years before a mammogram will even show it, allowing you to have time to reverse a condition. Now, I know that sometimes countries call it thermal imaging, infrared survey. There are thermograms available in Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and certainly many places in the United States. It's not just breast as well. One can have a full body screen because the temperature of different organs are reflected in the skin. So again, this is a type of imaging that can give one information so they can truly act at choice. When we're in a position of being told what we need to do, don't get a full information, there's a lot of discrepancy in particular kinds of readings, I encourage you to look for, when you pay attention to screening, that you are aware of options and certainly aware of who might do your particular form of screening. I've been led in my work to actually complete a book. I've started a number of them with different areas, but I'm just poised right now to publish, it'll come out in January, a book called Cherish the Girls, a well-rounded approach to your breast health. It has a lot to do with choice on all different areas, and I think it's really critical because women are often misdiagnosed, overdiagnosed, basically serve their masters in a sense in healthcare by not coming from a position of their own choice. When we have information, we have power. When we use that power, we can make choices that serve us and actually serve everyone involved in the transaction. Interesting thing about choice is that we have to make it. We can't delegate it. We chose to be here in a fabulous club to get a global perspective. We choose self-care all the time on a daily basis. And when we move forward to doing teamwork with practitioners, we need to remember that there are people who may be outside of our immediate window of what we know of from choice, and expand our consciousness so that we truly are coming from choice. So cherish the girls, cherish your choices. Isn't choice a wonderful thing? And back to you, Seema. Thank you so much.
That was amazing, Lynn. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call for a minute of silence so the evaluator can evaluate.
Okay, we have a minute.
Seema,
Wonderful,
before you
thank-
start, can I ask two people a question?
Sure.
Sandra, Isaac, why are you back?
Well, I went over there, over where Edward Kofi Morowitz was, because it was my impression from the emails that I was going to be evaluating him. And that's
Okay.
why I went there.
Okay.
And then I was told, no, I'm not evaluating him.
Okay.
I'm evaluating someone over here. I don't even know who it would be.
Okay. And
Yeah, I just decided to come back to the main room.
Okay. All right. Fine. Sandra, you are actually evaluating our next speaker, Jay Ligda.
So at this,
Seema, thank you. Back to you.
yeah, thank you. So at this point, I would like to call on our second evaluator, Sandra Edwards, to share about our next speaker and their speech.
Well, excuse me. I got the message that I was going to evaluate somebody else. So I have no information about Jay.
It's right on the agenda.
I'm
Right
sorry,
there.
I didn't print, I was unable to print out the agenda, so I don't have it. Sorry.
Okay, then I will just share on your behalf if that's okay.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so as an evaluator, Sandra is going to be with Jay Ligda is our next speaker, speaker number 2. His path is strategic relationships, level 1. He's doing an icebreaker. And the purpose is to introduce himself to the group and share something about himself. And it is about 4 to 6 minutes. This is Jay's 14th icebreaker in his Toastmasters journey. And his speech's title is Jay as a Leader Worldwide. So please help me welcome Jay Ligda. Jay as a Leader Worldwide. Jay as a Leader Worldwide. Jay Ligda.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. It's true, 14 icebreakers. I am a Toastmaster junkie. This is what a Toastmaster junkie looks like. It all started about 7.5 years ago when I was getting a ride from a friend to a dance. I told her that I wanted to teach online classes but I was nervous about public speaking. She said, "Oh, you ought to join Toastmasters." Now that idea made me nervous in itself, so I knew it was the right thing to do. I went to my local club here in Benicia, California, which was Capital Speakers Toastmasters, and that's where it started. I gave my first icebreaker. It took me 2 weeks to prepare for that. In that club, I met fellow Toastmaster Larry Miller, who was involved in a group, not a club, a group that was a fully online Toastmasters Club-like group. See, at that time, Toastmasters did not allow online clubs. Together with this club, with this group, Toastmasters International and Netizens Online chartered the way for online clubs. And in March 2015, it became the first fully online club to charter. I was a charter member. So I was a dual member almost from the beginning, and that really helped to accelerate my growth. You see, Toastmasters is where I am learning and growing the most, so I'm willing to put a lot of time and energy into it. It sounds like I'm in good company here. I've served in every officer role except for the Vice President of Public Relations. I've served as a Pathways Guide and Ambassador when Pathways started to roll out. I was the area director for C8 here in District 57. I was also moved on to be the division director, Division C. I achieved my first DTM in February of 2018, and that was one of the proudest moments, proudest accomplishments of my life. I've done over 200 speeches. I finished all of the advanced manuals under the old program except for 3 projects, which were repeated in Pathways. So I just did them in Pathways, or I am doing them in Pathways. My goal is to do every Pathways project. I have 15 to go. Last year, I served as a club coach for Rise and Shine Toastmasters. I got a struggling club to select distinguished status last year, and I joined that club for a 3rd club. Along with that, I became one of the coordinators for this club, this speech crafts that developed into this club. And that gave me the qualifications for my 2nd DTM, which I got in September of this year. And what I love about Toastmasters is how the projects support my personal and professional lives and vice versa. My professional life provides me with an avenue to fulfill my Toastmasters projects. It's a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Currently, I'm the CTO of SyncFab and one of the co-founders of this company. This company is committed to simplifying digital transformation in the manufacturing supply chain to increase capacity and utilization for the suppliers. So these are manufacturers that have machines that produce parts. We're making it easy to get jobs for these parts and also improve the accessibility to the supply chain buyers. And so getting buyers and product manufacturers together, but that's not all. We're making a way to trace production using blockchain. That might be a word that you've heard, and maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you're not. There's 2 components to blockchain. Basically, it's immutability of records. So once records are written into it, they can't be changed. And then decentralization. This means the data doesn't belong to anybody. There's no third party controlling the data. So anytime you hear blockchain, think of those 2 things, and I'll probably mention it later. So the dynamic leadership path supported me with my position as CTO of the company, and vice versa. I completed that path while being the CTO of the company. For the visionary communication path, I went up to the mountains to come up with a vision for my life, something I could do with my life as a project. And with that, I came up with this idea for a non-biased voting platform, once again grounded in blockchain. So many projects in Toastmasters have supported that project, including Write a Compelling Blog. Check it out, truedemocracy.global. Also building social media content, create a podcast, and public relations strategies I'm working on to complete this project for this voting platform. And also my DTM project I will be working on as a member of this club. I got involved with this club when Cynthia asked me to be one of the club mentors. So you see, being a club mentor, along with the DTM project, are the last two things I need for DTM number 3, which I should finish by the end of this year. I'll be working as the mentor for this club, but also a member of this club. And I'm excited to be sharing the information about the DTM project with this club in the weeks to come. I will start working on that and share it with you. So Toastmasters has been great to me. I look forward to working with all of you and supporting your journeys. That's true teamwork and passing my addiction on to you, but you probably have caught it already. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jay. That was an amazing speech. Toastmasters Winky, I love that. Would like to call for a minute of silence so Sandra can do the evaluation. And Linda, if you could take a quick look at the chat, I've sent you a message.
We have a minute. Minute step.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathleen. So I would now like to call on the third evaluator, which is Kathleen Hill, to tell us about our third speaker, Rosalind Kahn. Caitlin?
I'm confused. Are you doing a talk today, Rosalind, or are you waiting till next time?
What I had planned to do, I'm sorry, I'm in a business here. I was planning to do it next time because I had a problem getting the evaluation form. And I know that we always speak with evaluation forms, and that's the
Okay.
example that we want to set before the club. So that's
Yes,
what I had
exactly.
decided.
Okay, very good. So we'll really look forward to your speech next time, Rosalind.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it as well.
So Caitlin, we don't have a third speaker?
That's right.
It looks like we don't have a third speaker. Okay, then. Well, this would be a great time to call Kathleen. We still want to hear from you as a VPE. And if you could tell us about how members can sign up for the roles and any other messages you have.
Yes. Look at that. All members who want to participate in our next meeting at this time, please look at the agenda and see what role you would like. I'm sorry, I have to check. I have to check for now to see who has signed up for speaker. I will get back to you when I return at the end of this meeting. But please step up, play teamwork, and sign up for a role. And please, you can put that in the chat to me. And I will take note of that. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Seema, we could do some extra table topics if you would like.
Yes.
You know, Linda, by the way, I do want to use the time at the end to really recruit signups. I'm sorry about this. Cynthia and I were conferring on this, and it would be very helpful in this meeting only to recruit signups.
Okay.
I'm sorry about the miscommunication, Linda.
So I would like to say that stepping into these various roles during the meetings is actually a leadership position. So the more you take on these roles, the better you become as your own, become a better leader and trying out different things. Growth happens when you step out of your comfort zone. So it's all about teamwork. Linda, was there something you wanted to say? It looked like you wanted to say something.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so at this time, I would like to invite our president to the podium.
That would be difficult since she's in the other room.
Okay, then let's move right along. Let's go to table topics. And I would like to call the topic master, Curtis Greaves, as the top table topics master. Curtis, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. In my role this evening as Table Topics Master, I will be presenting a number of topics, the purpose of which is to encourage persons to speak on their feet. You won't have any idea of the topic beforehand, and you'll be given 1 to 2 minutes to present on this topic. Ideally, I'd like to get volunteers from the audience, persons who haven't necessarily been a part of the meeting as yet, to volunteer to take on these topics. So any volunteers from the audience? Or do I have
Raise her hand. Anyone else?
Who raised their hand?
Rosalind Khan raised her hand. Sherry, how about you? Sherry Washburn? And Isaac, how about you? Or Goodwin? Godwin? Would you like to do a table topic?
Yeah, Isaac, I'll do one.
Okay, so there you have 3, and let's see how
Rosalind, Isaac, and
Isaac, Sherry, and Rosalind.
Sherry. Right. So I'll take them in this order: Rosalind, Isaac, and Sherry. So table topic number 1 to Rosalind Can. Think back to an instance in the past when you were on a team that did not function well. In 1 to 2 minutes, describe how you coped with this situation.
Okay, excuse my fuzzy screen. I'm really sorry that you cannot see me very well, but I did once survive on a team that did not work successfully, and unfortunately, it was in a situation where I was in a Toastmaster group, and it was for a leadership position. And in the position, there was some competition between myself and someone else. And in this place, I had actually won and the other person had lost. And we were going to a district training, and I was at the training and my husband was with me. And at this particular event, I was so upset that my husband said to me, if you are so upset with this, you know, you can make a choice. You can do Toastmasters or you can have this relationship, which is more important to you. And I decided at that particular point in time that I dropped out of Toastmasters and left the position of leadership. And it was only years later that I went ahead and came back. And so, you know, it's a mirror to what we see currently happening in our political situation about people who went and people who lose. And, you know, I pull all over my Facebook. It's done. It's over with. We need to simply move on. Mr. Table Topics Master, thank you very much for asking me that question.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Roslyn. I was getting scared when you had the ultimatum between Toastmasters and your husband, but glad to have you back with us. Toastmaster Isaac, your topic. Think back to an instance in the past when you were on a team that did function very well. Describe the benefits of a well-functioning team.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. Well, I've never really been in a leadership role, but I guess the one thing I do recall is when I was running track in high school. And we had a very good functioning team. Everybody worked together. Actually, this was years ago. This was in 1972. And that track team lettered in all sports, and almost from my high school, the records that those guys set are still standing. I mean, this is like what, 40 years ago? And I mean, from the sprinters to the long distance runners to the pole vaulters, I mean, the team was really good. And I think one of the things that made us good is we had a coach that really knew how to get people motivated. And just a quick story, he had me running the hurdles. I did not want to run the high hurdles, but he talked me into doing it. And as a result of him doing that, I was able to get a scholarship in the hurdles because I wouldn't have been a fast enough sprinter to go on. But because I ran the hurdles, I was able to use that to go on. So his foresight to make me do that actually turned out to be something that was very positive in my life. So back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Isaac. And we see that in teams, often persons can highlight or see some of these trends that you may not be seeing in yourself. So that's a fantastic example. All right, so our next table topic, guest, Sherry Washburn. Right. In 1 to 2 minutes, let us know why you think teamwork is better than doing it all alone.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and other guests. Winning all alone, not so sure it's a good idea personally. I said at the beginning, oh, I got my DTM and I worked so hard for it, but I wouldn't have gotten here without help. I may not have had a team that's the same one through all the years I've been a Toastmaster, but I still had support and I had other Toastmasters. That makes it work. I will tell you in my experience, too many times that when someone does something all alone or thinks they did something all alone, oftentimes they get very arrogant. And they are the expert, heaven forbid. Don't even consider suggesting I'm not right. You've seen the attitude, you know what I'm talking about. On the other hand, if you're a team member or a team player, as our previous speaker was talking about, then you have that option of, sharing the glory, sharing the work, sharing the success at the end. And that's what I think is important, the opportunity to do that. I know it's a cliche that says teamwork doesn't have an I in it, but it's very true. If it's a real team, even if you're the leader of that team, it still doesn't have an I in it. You are a member of the team, period. Mr. Tabletop Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sherry. And we have enough time for one more table topic. So I see that our level 1 persons and guests are rejoining us. Anyone wants to take a chance at our table
Maybe
topics?
Taufi? I nominate Taufi because he didn't get to speak in our breakout session. So maybe he can do this table topic. Taufi?
Taufiq. All right. So your topic, in 1 to 2 minutes, think back to a time when you broke away from the team to work alone. How did it turn out?
Thank you, Table Topics Master, for inviting me, and Cynthia for giving me an opportunity. I would love to work in teamwork. As such, I am very much a teamwork person. If I get a chance to work alone, it will be very loneliness, even though I may have opportunity in terms of gadgets or having a PC or a laptop and doing some creative work, but loneliness alone pinches you. Like we are all together as in Toastmasters Club, and Toastmaster gets people together in one platform and gives an opportunity for everybody to explore and speak about and get the confidence, which enables one to boost their morale, to come out and speak against something which is beautiful, something which turns up positive and gives energy and develops each other capability to explore and to give an opportunity to come forward to express themselves, which if you do alone, you are going to speak as if you're in front of a mirror and nobody is there to give you a comment or improve yourself. If you're alone and you can think of something, it's as quoted, idle mind is devil's mind. So if you're alone, you cannot develop because nobody will be there to give you a comment or give you an improvise on your speech or your ability or your topic or anything, whatever you want to do in life. That's the reason we have partners when we marry. That's another example why we have a partner in life or a friend or a companion or a colleague. And that's why teamwork is always important to be successful in life. That's my motto, to develop ourselves and to develop your colleague or your companion or your partner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Taufiq. I've just been informed that I have time for another table topic.
And one of our guests, I think it was Goodwin, who said he was interested in doing a table topic.
Oh, perfect.
Or no, I take that back. It was Rokia too?
Rokia?
Yes, he raised his hand.
Yes, that's good.
Her hand?
So what I'll do is I'll actually reuse one of my topics from before. Think back to an instance when you were on a team that functioned very well. Describe the benefits of working on a well-functioning team.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to express my opinion about teamwork and the well-functioning teamwork. So a team that is well-functioning have all the benefit that you can imagine. It's give creativity to every member of the team to come with the new idea and to boost again the team to move it forward. Otherwise, if it's not working properly, people will just sit down and have their idea, stay inside of themselves and not being proactive. And that's give the opposite effect. You want teamwork in order to get something really good out of it. So well-functioning will mean move the team up and up again. and everybody will motivate, support each other, and lift each other up. It just benefiting of it. And you need, in order to keep up this teamwork, continue functioning, you need to have strategy in place to have member motivated so they can continue. Praise them all the time and provide incentives so they can be more and more creative, produce more, and come up all the time with great ideas. I think, yeah. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kaya, for taking that at such short notice. Let's see. Madam Toastmaster of the evening, do we have time for one more, or that's?
I think we do have time for one more.
Okay, so let's reuse. And a volunteer, any volunteers? All right, so let's pick someone from the crowd.
Joe, is that?
Yeah,
You want?
I'll go if no one else will go.
That's Joe?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. So think back to an instance in the past when you were on a team that did not function well. In 1 to 2 minutes, describe how you coped with this situation.
I can't really think of any situation in which I was part of a team that did not function well. But instead, there were members of the teams that did not function well with the rest of the team. So perhaps let's frame the answer that way. When one person has a problem or is causing problems, it causes problems for the rest of the team. So normally what I've done is I report the problem to a supervisor, or that person was reported to the supervisor, and the person would be given a chance to correct themselves, or they would be removed. I can think of plenty of times like this. But for example, there's one sergeant in my unit in the military who caused problems for a lot of even some of the lower enlisted. And one soldier just got so frustrated when dealing with her on the workplace that he went to another sergeant. Fortunately, he was able to talk this out through communication, and he eventually told him that this sergeant is on her way out. She was just very temperamental, but she barely knew her speech trap because she kept bullying around the other soldiers, including myself. And eventually, though, this soldier retired from the military 1 month after our annual training. I can also think of another time when I was dealing with another soldier in a team that I was leading who barely did any work. And he caused a lot of problems. He just didn't care about his career. So sometimes problems will solve themselves out, but it's good to take initiative to report to a supervisor and work things out with this problem employee or member if they won't solve themselves. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joe. Appreciate you as well taking a topic at such short notice. So at this time, I'd like to hand control of the meeting back to our Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Curtis. Well done. Great questions. And table topics is a wonderful way of getting into the habit of speaking ex tempo. You learn how to think on your feet. So that's a great way. And I guess we had about 7 speakers, Curtis? 6. Okay, wonderful. So that's great. Now we're moving on to our evaluations and reports. This is when we get to hear our feedback from our evaluators on the speeches given. And I would like to call on our general evaluator, Emmanuel Ojewumi, to now bring on the next aspect of evaluations.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sema. That was very, very wonderful. I am back again with my team members who are actually ready to make the dream work by giving the feedback for an amazing meeting. I'm going to be calling on the speech evaluators who specifically watch out for certain things in the speeches that was given by the prepared speakers. The first person I'm going to be calling is Toastmaster, is the first speaker for the first evaluator for the first speaker. And ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster Teresa, who will be giving the evaluation for the first speaker. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. It's my pleasure to evaluate or express my appreciation for a lovely speech by Lynn Fraley. Lynn, you have so much, and it's obvious, you have so much information and knowledge regarding your subject of self-care and global choices that we all have opportunities to explore when we are looking for better avenues or alternative avenues for self-care, particularly for screenings that, well, what can I say? That run the spectrum from those that tend to be mandated by our professional caregivers or professional doctors and healthcare workers to others that are alternative. You gave us a very clear path to our ability to have choices, and introduced us to some alternatives for choice making. Actually, I'm very excited to read your new book, Cherish the Girls. Love that title. Your vocal variety was excellent. Eye contact is something we all struggle with using this virtual platform, and gestures as well. But as a whole, I think you engaged your audience very well and were very comfortable with your subject. So kudos to you and well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Teresa, for that wonderful evaluation. Very quickly, I'm going to move on to the second speech evaluator, who happens to be Toastmaster Kathleen. Is it Toastmaster Kathleen or Toastmaster Sandra? I know we had two speakers today.
It's Sandra.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the virtual lectern, Toastmaster Sandra. We'll be evaluating the second speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Sandra.
Muted.
You're muted.
Hit the mute button again so you can be unmuted, Sandra.
Of course, of course, of course. I was delighted with Jay's comment that he's a Toastmaster junkie. Well, I guess we already knew that about him because he's always on it. He's always there. And it was a wonderful recommendation for Toastmasters. He told us about how it supports his personal and his professional life, and impressive. I like that. And he told us about blockchain. Have you ever wondered what blockchain was? You know, I just never figured that out. And that seems, you know, to have it be part of the data system that's not controlled by any third party, that seems really important. And I was really pleased to hear that you were working with voting and figuring out a way to vote in a better way. How impressive is that you're working on that? And public relations. So there were a few things that I was kind of missing. I didn't feel like he did a lot of, Jay, it just didn't seem like you did a lot of gestures or movements with your hand. You just, and I thought maybe that could be helpful to you. And I also, you know, there was, it seemed like, I don't know, maybe it seemed like your voice or your speech was just sort of a little, you know, not smooth, sort of stopping. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's what I was kind of checking out. And where's my timer? I don't see my timer. Can someone tell me what the timer says? No. Okay.
Yellow?
Yes. Are you the timer?
Yes, actually, you have about 30 seconds or so if you'd like.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I just want to congratulate Jay on a wonderful talk that was very meaningful to all of us. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Sandra, for that wonderful evaluation. Very quickly, we'll move on to the next set of evaluators who also are trying to help us to become better communicators and leaders. I will be calling on the reports for the timer. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Toastmaster Kathleen, who was our timer for today's meeting, as she gives our timing report. You have the floor, Toastmaster Kathleen.
We've done beautiful teamwork for our Virgin flight. And Lynn, you were at 5 minutes. Jay, you were at 6:20 for your speeches. In table topics, Roslyn, you were 1 minute 20. Isaac, 1:16. Sherry, 2 minutes. Tafiq, 1:58. Rokiato, 1:10. Joe, 1:27. In evaluations, Teresa, 2 minutes, and Sandra, 2 minutes, 8 seconds. Back to you, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kathleen, for that wonderful report. You did not tell us who went about board, or everybody was on time, right?
Yes, beautiful,
Great.
beautiful
Fantastic.
team.
Okay. Very quickly, we'll move on to the doctor of hearts and homes and homes. None other but the English doctor, the grammarian, who also doubles as our R counter. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the grammarian and R counter for today's meeting. None other but Toastmaster Sally.
Yes,
Take it
thank you so much. Now we have Linda, 2 so's and 2 ands. I think. Cynthia, nothing. Okay. Seema, 1 word of the day, 1 and 2 so's. Kathleen, 3 word of the days. Tawfiq, 2 word of the days. Sherry, 3 words of the day. Some people made a slight alteration, but it was the same word. Emmanuel, 2 words of the day. Teresa, Sherry, 3 ums. Lynn, 2 words of the day. Sandra, 4 ums, and an anyway that wasn't quite fitting in, and 2 ands or a's. Let's see. We have Rosalind, a so, an and an and. Isaac, 2 so's and 2 ands. Whew. That's a good one. Diaye, her last name. 3 words of the day. And Joe, 1 word of the day. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sally, for that amazing report. I kindly request that we unmute and give the tag team a wonderful round of applause for those wonderful evaluations and reports.
Yay! Thank you, Emmanuel.
All right. Today's meeting was really wonderful, and it shows the finesse and the quality of the participants at today's meeting. The meeting started on time, and we had a wonderful time. For a meeting that was so wonderful, I love the energy, I love the charisma that Toastmaster brought into the meeting, and that was really great. And I will be so glad to hear that many people will want to come back to this meeting at the end of it all. Am I supposed to give my general evaluation report now or hand over to the Toastmaster?
Yes.
Okay. The meeting started right on time, as usual. That is the trademark and the quality of leaders worldwide, as far as I've known. And the energy from the beginning of the meeting to welcoming guests from all around the world was welcome. And that didn't stop at the beginning of the meeting. Even at intervals during the meeting, the Toastmaster of the day also welcomed guests. And at some point, the Vice President membership also tried to pitch the club to guests who were coming to the club. And I feel that all the guests that attended today's meeting felt the only environment and reception of leaders worldwide. And that is what Toastmasters represents globally: the friendship, the camaraderie, and the warmth. I like the fact that most of the evaluators were prepared for the evaluation. They had the speech objectives handy to give the speech, to give the evaluation for their speakers. And the speakers also did not come unprepared, because the quality of the speeches they gave showed that they took time to prepare for the speeches, and that was wonderful. I love the table topics. The table topics master prioritized the guests to make them feel more welcome to the meeting. That was wonderful. And the table topics was very friendly. It was full of warmth, and it was almost not going to stop. I thought we were going to have a table topics marathon in today's meeting, but eventually it ended, and I was glad it did. That was very great. I love the energy the table topics master brought into the meeting. And I love the fact that a lot of people used the word of the day during the table topics session to show that the table topics master found a way to integrate the theme of the meeting and the word of the day into the kind of questions he was asking. The evaluation was on point. Of course, the quality and the experience of all the evaluators and the tag team, that's the timer, the accountant, and the grammarian, showed during the evaluation report. Now, for a meeting so wonderful, for a meeting so fine, for a meeting so fantastic, what could we have done better? If you ask me that question, this is what I will have told you. Keep on doing what you're doing and don't stop doing the right thing. However, I observe that we should find a way to capture the details of our guests. For instance, there was a meeting I attended somewhere, and at the beginning of the meeting, there was a link to a Google Sheets in the chat room where guests can sign in, and all the details of the guests are captured at that point. So if you're a guest, you just click on the link in the chat box, and you have, so the details is automatically saved on the cloud, and everybody that is an executive in the can access the information, so we can follow up on them. And if not joining the meeting, they can probably, if not joining the club, they can probably join the next meeting and feel the experience of the club. Another thing I feel that will increase the quality of the club, because there's always room for improvement as it is the fact that we need to have some sort of more people in the same time zone coming, which means that we need to increase our publicity and make the table topics more engaging. So there are so many fun ways of doing table topics than asking questions. You know, I know that table topics is one of the best ways we use to convert guests to members and engage people that are coming to the meeting who are not on the agenda. So if we make the table topics more fun, more engaging, more fantastic, I went to a meeting and the table topics master started with a heart. She put on a heart, and the first question she asked was around the art she wore. Everybody in the room, virtual room, was captivated by that symbol. So we need to add more fun to the table topics to make us enjoy the meeting more. It makes everyone come to meeting and not know what to expect, but it's going to be exciting all along. For such a wonderful meeting, I would like to thank everybody who participated in today's meeting for bringing in their A game. And I want to encourage everybody to continue to improve on their roles as we journey on this leadership and communications journey. Thank you, Leadership Worldwide. It's a pleasure to be here. Having said this, I hand over back to the Toastmaster, the amazing Toastmaster of today's meeting, Toastmaster Sema. You are simply amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Manuel. Wow, you are really engrossed in the meeting today. I'm so excited. Such wonderful suggestions. Great teamwork. This is really wonderful. I was just going to talk about us, and I come up with my first one. Now it's time for announcements and closing. I would like to invite our president, Cynthia Stott, to help us with the closing.
Did someone say something?
Yeah, I did.
There was somebody else that said something. No?
No. Nope.
Okay. I got feedback. Okay. The announcements we have is that our Pathways training is coming up on Thursday, this Thursday at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time, San Francisco time. And so that's what we need. And Emmanuel, great for talking about the guest list. Can you please provide us one and we will incorporate that? I'm so excited. The other announcement is that Our next meeting is in the evening time, San Francisco time. It's at 5:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific/San Francisco time. And then we meet at this time in the afternoon in 2 weeks' time. That will be at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time /San Francisco time. There's an The other thing, that's all of my announcements. Do you have any announcements, Linda or Patricia?
All right, thank you, Cynthia. Just to remind all those who join us on the EMEA time zone, that is from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. GMT. If you wish to play any of the meeting roles, please do send me a message in the chat box or follow us on social media and let us know if you wish to play a meeting role. Thank you very much.
Actually, Kathleen, can you help us out with the meeting roles, or did you do that before?
Yes, I would like to ask who would like to be our Toastmaster for our next meeting?
Daytime or nighttime?
That would be daytime Pacific Daylight. So that's
2 weeks from now.
That's correct. Who would like
Okay.
to be our Toastmaster? Who's stepping up for teamwork as our next
So just list.
Toastmaster?
Why don't you list all the roles that you need, and then give us your email.
It's much better if I can get
wait,
commitment.
I know, but we have very short time. So you have 2 minutes. Tell us the roles and give us your email.
Okay, we have all the roles except for one speaker. Rosalind is ready to speak next for speaker 1. So we have Sergeant at Arms, we have social host, Toastmaster, general evaluator, counter, the whole
gamut. Okay, and your email, put that in the chat. It's tell us it first.
I'll just put it in the chat because
Okay, just put it in the chat. Okay, and then I'm going to go to takeaways and chocolates. We have a very short time. Our meeting time got away with us, and then we're going to ask you to put, if you want to have a role, please put it in the chat box so that we can fill that role. Okay, and we'll circle back, and then we'll ask for more role players in case we didn't get them all filled. So fill them in the chat. And then, so takeaways, who would like to share a takeaway? We'll just have very short time to share a takeaway so that we have Kathleen to share with us. Okay, and Linda, can you help me see who's ready to share a takeaway and get a virtual chocolate?
I'm not seeing anyone.
No one? How about one of our guests? And also we would like to know your experience today, what you thought of the meeting today. Any of our guests?
Barbara?
Barbara?
Hi, everybody. I'm new to Toastmasters, but I'm really learning a lot. I'm so glad for all these meetings. Thank you. It's great.
Great. And here's your virtual chocolate. You ready?
Okay.
Well,
thank you.
Awesome. Who else would like to share a takeaway, what you learned today?
Sherry would like to, and then Sally.
Okay.
I visited quite a few meetings across the world now in the last few weeks, which I've been enjoying globetrotting. And this is a very energetic group. I find them very interesting. I've enjoyed the meeting. I did include in the chat information on my club. If anyone's interested, they can email me at the address there. And I really prefer real chocolate, but if I have to take virtual, I will.
The best thing is you choose the flavor of chocolate, and there are no calories. Ready? Oh.
Thank you. I gave somebody a virtual chocolate chip cookie the other day. Unfortunately, I had one in my hand so they could see it.
I didn't get it.
Okay. And Sally.
I just wanted to say what great energy from everyone. And it's a delight to be a group of people from around the world and hear your opinions, and you feel like my neighbors. Thank you.
Awesome. Here's your chocolate. Woo! Okay. And if you're ready for a roll, make sure to put it in the chat while we continue with our takeaways and chocolate. Do we have anyone else for takeaways? Linda?
No, I'm not seeing anyone.
Okay, how about Dr. Kimberly Shearer? We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, you read my mind. I was trying to unmute. And since it's virtual, can I opt for $1 million instead of
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I thought it was phenomenal. And one of many things that stood out for me, really having been on other Zoom calls and breakout rooms and everything, was how nicely and efficient everything was executed. So I really appreciated that because it eased any anxiety of the unknown. And also the explanation of table topics and the timer. And so I really felt like this meeting gave me, how do I want to say, by being here, I really learned a lot about the flow of the meeting. So I'm grateful for that.
Awesome. Ready for your $1 million?
Oh, yeah, baby, I am.
Here you go.
Yay.
Awesome. And how about our guests? Any of our guests want to share their experience? And while we're doing that, make sure to put in the chat if you're up for a role for our next meeting. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to give it back to Kathleen then and see if we can get any more roles filled. You got Toastmaster, is that right?
Yes, she did. We thank Tafiq, who was our social host today.
Awesome. And Kathleen, did you want to ask for any more roles?
Emmanuel, you offered to be a Toastmaster, and that has been snapped up. Could I persuade you to be an evaluator?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's no problem.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear.
All right.
And then table topics.
Patricia Mensa-Larkey wants to be our table topics master.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm thrilled.
Open Sergeant at Arms, Sally.
Okay, good.
And
Thank you,
I'll take
Sally.
the ums and the ahs again because it's not a very exciting position, but it needs to be done.
And Nikki wanted to thank everybody. What a superb vibe you are going on here. All the best with your lovely new club.
Oh, thank you, Nikki. Thank you for being our keynote.
Wonderful speech.
Who else would like to be, for instance, the social greeter, introducing the meeting and arranging for people to enter their level? Who would like to do that?
Don't all speak up at once.
What's up with you, Barbara? What would you like to do? Barbara Mariano?
He's in our speech craft.
So I'm so new, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's in our speech
All
craft.
right.
And
Pardon
you know
me.
what? Tafiq is in our speech craft, so he shouldn't be the Toastmaster.
Oh, I
Because
see.
he's going to be
Okay.
giving a speech in
Very
his
good.
icebreaker speech in his
Okay,
speech.
good.
Maybe Emmanuel could be the Toastmaster.
All right, that's good. And then Curtis, what's your flavor of the month?
Kathy, I don't want to commit as yet. I'm actually testing out this time.
All right.
But the other time, the other meeting times may be
Okay,
better
very
suited.
good. Seema, what's your favorite?
So 2 weeks means what's the second date?
That's the 23rd, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I can be the social host.
Thank you, Seema.
Could you do the evaluator too? Because the social host is before the meeting.
Sure.
How about the general evaluator?
Okay, then.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you very much.
Okay, and the rest, send Catherine an email and we'll be following up with you. We're going to close out the meeting now. Is there any final announcements?
Cynthia, have you gotten commitments for speeches in level 1 for next week?
We'll do that by email.
Okay. So we need to remind you, if you're in level 1, to get your speech titles to Cynthia by Friday night, or Friday, your Friday, whatever that might be.
Your Friday midnight.
Yes.
Let me just take a second here. Emmanuel, you are not Toastmaster because you're going into into the breakout.
Reverse.
And-
Taufik is going to be Speechcraft, so he's not the Toastmaster.
Oh, okay. So
And
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel will be the Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you.
Keep these all straight.
Okay.
And
It
then
all comes with teamwork.
So we have Seema as General Evaluator, Sally as Sergeant at Arms, Sally as Grammarian. Emmanuel will be Toastmaster. Rosalind is speaking. We have Evaluator, we have, let's see, Patricia is Table Topics Master. Evaluator is, who's Evaluator? I'm sorry.
We didn't have evaluator. We had general evaluator is Seema. Okay, so we'll do the rest by email.
Okay, and at this point, we should close this meeting.
Yes.
Thank you so very much. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.